Welcome, my dear social media parish. The peace and joy of Jesus be with you all. And we have journeyed into Lent, and now today we are into the fourth Sunday of Lent. And on the fourth Sunday of Lent, we have Jesus talking to us with a beautiful parable. He shares with us a beautiful parable of love and forgiveness. So, in our journey through Lent, we encountered Jesus telling us this beautiful story of two sons. A father had two sons, and he tells us that these two sons were so different. And it's also a sad story on one hand and a joyful story on the other. So let's look at it. It's a sad story because a young man in his youth, he breaks away from his father, breaks away from his home, breaks away from his community, and then goes his own way and squanders all his money, squanders his health, squanders his wealth, squanders his talent. Later on, he realizes his fault, and he returns back to his father. He comes back to his community. This is one focal point. The other focal point is the elder son. The elder son who is very angry, and when his younger brother returns, he cannot receive him. And in fact, he refuses to even enter the house. That is how angry he was. But the center of the story is the welcoming, the forgiving, and compassionate love of the Father. So I've entitled our reflection today as Forgiving Love or Arrogance. Forgiving love or arrogance. So let's spend some time on reflecting on these three beautiful people in the story that Jesus gives us, and on the personalities of these three people that Jesus presents to us on this fourth Sunday of Lent. And we can see who we are identifying with by the end of this reflection. So let's take a moment and reflect on this story and see who we can identify with according to how this story resonates with us in our spiritual journey during this fourth Sunday of Lent. Let us look at the younger son first. He was loved by his family. He was cared for. He received all the encouragement, love, and personal care that the family gave him. But he had his own way. Hormones perhaps welled up in his body as a young person, and he had his own way. And true, we all need our freedom. We all need to make our choices. God has given us this beautiful gift of our freedom and the freedom of our choice. But what do we do? And how do we exercise the freedom of our choice? The younger boy wished to break away from his strong family, from his supportive family, and from his loving family, and go on his own way. He asked his father for the share of the property of his inheritance and went on his own way. He lived his life away from the family, away from the community. The community that he lived in was a community built on selfish love, selfishness, built on self-seeking, built on money. They stuck together as long as they had the money, as long as they got something out of it, they stuck together. And as long as the money lasted, they were together enjoying themselves. Money was their bonding together. But we know material wealth cannot bring us together. It will bring us together to a certain extent, and after that, it'll begin to crumble. Just like the life of this younger brother, the younger son, Soon he lost everything. It doesn't last long. And when it ran out, each one went their own way. And the younger boy was in dire straits. He was in great need. The community support was gone. The care and love was gone and lost. He could not now survive alone. He needed something greater than his hardships. He felt great hardship, hunger, and indifference all around him. But soon he realized that he needed a community of support. And then he returns. He returns perhaps with fear in his heart. And that is why when he returned, he felt that he would be rejected, but he felt wrongly. He returned and was received, in fact, by a loving father whose arms were extended and reached out to him in merciful love and compassion. Here was a compassionate father who welcomed him with a feast. How wonderful! This boy felt that he would be rejected, but here was a father, a merciful father, a compassionate father, a forgiving father who welcomed him with arms wide open and with a feast. Let's look at the father for a moment. The father was patient. The father waited upon his son and waited for his son. He never forced his son. He never pressurized his son. He loved and allowed him to make his own choice. Did he make the right choice? No. Yet the father stood by him. He was patient with him. The father looked out for him every day, says the reading. In fact, when he did see him, listen to what the reading says. While he was still afar off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. Now listen to what the father does. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Here's that loving, compassionate father embracing his prodigal son. So what do we see about love here? Love is welcoming. Love is healing. Love is never blaming. Love is never revengeful. Love keeps no grudges. Love never ends. Here is love and compassion, mercy and generosity at its best. See what love is in this reading. Listen to what love is in the story that Jesus tells us. Quickly, said the father, bring out a robe, the best one. Put it on him. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet, and get the fatted calf and kill it. And let's eat and celebrate, for this son of mine was dead and is alive. He was lost and is now found. And they began to celebrate. This is what love is all about. Love is a welcoming celebration. Now my question to all of us, can I have this love? Can you have this love? Yes, you can. Yes, I can. Why? Because we are made for love, and we are made by love. This is what is missing in the elder boy. Love. He was indifferent to his brother's returning, to his brother's broken journey. He was in fact very angry and became very indifferent. And he began to look at his brother through the eyes of property, money. Listen to what the reading says. The reading says, "But when the son of yours returns back, said the elder boy to his father, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you kill the fatted calf for him." You see how his brother, the elder brother, is viewing the younger brother? So the question to all of us is, my question to you, my question to myself, What eyes do I look through to at others? Through what eyes do I look at others? A very important question. Do I look at others through money? Do I look at others through wealth? Do I look at others through self-righteousness? Do I look at others through anger? Do I look at others through self-pity? Do I look at others through arrogance and pride? Or like the Father, listen to what the reading says about the Father. It says, "And this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now he is found." And they began to celebrate. How do I look at people? Through what eyes do I look at people? Here's our choice for the 4th week of Lent. Is it going to be a choice of forgiving love, or is it going to be a choice of arrogant pride? Am I going to join the Father and imitate the Father, or am I standing on the side of the elder brother and looking down at his younger brother? Let's make a choice. Let's make a choice for forgiving love.